Okay, everyone. All right, and we're live.
We are, I think, probably.
All right, fantastic. So, welcome everyone to another wonderful episode of Dice Droppers, where a group of friends sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons while attempting to not allow their dice to fall on the floor. Oscar was the last person to do it, I think, right? Or was it Fabs?
It might have been me. I think it was me.
It's Fabs.
It was one of you. I know that you guys are the last ones to drop, so
Pretty sure it was me.
Fabs was the last one to drop. Poor thing. So last we left off, our adventurers were in the midst of battle, and after a crazy dinner of betrayal, chaos, and dragons fighting into the air, they ran into the city and saw a individual that was fighting a young red dragon on her own. And after fending off the beast and the other individuals making their way to the Moon Maiden Temple, bringing the king and his family to safety, our adventurers are still in the midst of this chaos and turmoil in the city. There is still fire all ensuing throughout many different buildings. Currently, we have Vash, Salithel, Morge, and Aura currently outside of one of these shops that's currently like messed up from the roof. And then we have Eva and Karst that are currently in the Moon Maiden Temple. There's been a lot of chaos, and as the Red Dragon and Cairo Anton flying away and all the younger, smaller Red Dragons flying away, you hear a loud thud, all of you. And almost like it's just a bunch of different buildings crumbling down, and almost an earthquake and shake of the ground kind of vibrate all around you. You get the sense that this is a fallen dragon that has fended off this beast, and you infer that this is Onslan, the golden dragon. So here we pick up like right after this red dragon flew away. You slayed a couple of we'll just say soldiers, for lack of a better term. You slayed some soldiers that were trying to loot and steal things from the villagers, and we pick up where Vash, Salithel, Morge, and Aura currently in the middle of town, across the street from the Moon Maiden Temple.
Well, that was simple and very interesting. You there. First off, why were you facing down a red dragon all by yourself?
Because I'm strong.
What an impressive tone of voice to prove it to me. You do intrigue me, though. I've never seen a set of armor like yours.
Oh, thank you. I crafted it myself.
Interesting. Do you think you could make me one? Just
Potentially.
a little bit lighter. And so I can still move around and still be a...
Why don't we go see if our friends are alive before you try to commission some armor off of a complete stranger? Sorry to interrupt.
Because
But the king was dying.
they went to a temple. That's what
Aura's already
Okay.
running away, still in
You guys-
giant hyena form.
You guys do. I'm gonna go, though. I'm gonna just... We're just gonna go back to the temple.
It was just such a good point. It was just such a logical point.
Really not, though. You're at a temple where people get saved. We ran out to defend them while they...
Oh, it's not like the town is going in chaos and burning in flames or anything like that. No, it's fine.
Because we saved the area that was burning in flames right outside the temple. How was that not actively defending my people?
We don't have time to argue this right now.
No.
Sure.
So Aura is immediately in her hyena form, just sprinting off towards the Moon Maiden Temple, and immediately you're rushing ahead. A couple of the sisters are outside, kind of just keeping watch. As you're approaching and making your way up the stairs, they are gasping in horror. Oh my god! Shut the door! Shut the door! Shut the door! Shut the door! And they're slamming the door shut, standing in front of him like, no, you can't pass.
I just drop form and just keep running.
Oh, thank God. Wait, excuse me. Hi. Thanks.
Yes.
You're with them, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you at least like tell us who you know so that way we can make sure that you're actually with them? Okay, just wait right here. And you see as the other individual, she kind of nods and just kind of walks in immediately, delivers like kind of shifts her way through the door and really not opening it up that wide. And you hear kind of a couple murmuring and them talking. And Karst and Eva, you hear, you see a Moon Maiden sister sprint in and run immediately up to King Julius and saying, there's a Erganasi that's saying that is with you. King Julius, yep. She's with us. That's Aura. Please let her in.
I kind of break away from Karst at that point.
Yeah, and also I think there was a half orc, Morge, I think is her name, and he's like and you can see as like he's still kind of like got a little bit of a bruise. This Queen Eliza is still holding down, just kind of like rubbing his arm, like just be still. It's gonna be fine. Yeah, I know it's gonna be fine. Yeah, there's Salithol and Morge is also with her. So if you see them and he says, Salithol's half elf, and Morge is a half orc. So yeah, they can come with too. Yeah, that's fine. It's like, okay, cool. She runs back outside, immediately looks at you. She's like, yeah, please come on in. They open the doors, you can walk in.
Thank you.
Morge is slowly, making her way back. Salithol and Vash, what are you guys doing?
That one place.
What are you doing?
I'm walking to the shop.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's where you were in front of. That's why you actually were like fighting off the red dragon. So you're right there, yeah.
Oh, I'm just gonna turn around and look at the shop and see if it's there.
Yeah, in inspecting the shop, I mean, you could tell that the roof, like, there are some tiles that are like ripped off. Some minor damage to it, but nothing too catastrophic that can't be fixed easily.
Enter the shop.
Okay, yeah, you walk in. And Salithol, are you following her too?
I'll follow. Sure. I'm curious.
Okay, yeah, you walk in. So Haley, go ahead and describe the shop owner for us.
All right. It's a male warforge named Dr. Club Mecker. He is very into science and mechanical work. He enjoys making his own creations, but I get.
You have to describe the rest.
Okay. What?
No, you're good. You don't have to describe like his personality and stuff like that.
Oh.
Just kind of what he looks like and everything.
Did he create himself?
Who is he?
He's the first Terminator.
Yeah, so you walk in and immediately you see this warforged. He's a silver plated, almost kind of robotic like structure. His eyes, we'll say, are glowing in this like kind of blue, light blue, radiant, shine. And immediately he is, walks over to you, and you can hear the gears and the springs are moving as he begins to like make his way around and kind of looks over at you and says like, Bash, the ceiling kind of broke and the shop is kind of getting all over the place. I don't know if you heard the red dragon out there or not, but there's definitely some fixing in the shop, so I'm gonna have to work on that.
Yeah. I helped not kill, but attack the dragon.
Oh, that's fantastic news. We're so happy.
It was a small
Happy
one.
to do that. Oh, Well, you're just a peach. Well, hey, you know what? Why don't you go grab a few stuff from the pile of gears and the scrap metal and stuff over there on the house, and you can use it for whatever you want.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
My treat. Oh, look, another customer. Who's your friend?
Oh, this person?
Yeah.
I don't know. They just helped me out fighting the mini red dragon.
Oh, well, sir, thank you so much for helping. I certainly appreciate everything, and I know that you probably didn't even know or were aware of my little shop here of everything. Well, but anyway, welcome to Mechanical Miracles. This is a nice little shop that I made on my own, and Vash is one of my most favorite and loyal customers, and I'm just so excited to have her help me out around the shop. And I love building things in all sorts of sizes. So welcome, and just really thankful for all the help. So here's something for your trouble. And he like basically walks over really quickly, and you hear the gears shifting, like looks over, and he's like stumbling through the shelf, and he's literally like not even worrying about the mess he's making. He's just chucking things off the shelf to the floor. There's a little mechanical gear bird that he throws into the air, and it just flies and flutters up into the top of the ceiling. He's grabbing like all different things, and he kind of walks back over to you and goes, "Here, this is just a token of my gratitude." And he hands to you, and it's a little like pendant. It's just something like kind of like a pocket. Just kind of something you could put in your pocket, and it's a gear. He goes, yeah, that gear is actually, it moves. They move on their own, and it's a really unique thing, and I actually crafted it myself. And it's just basically just a little gear trinket. Nothing too special, but the gears are constantly moving, and there's like a little dial that just kind of loops back around in a circle. So it's just a little fun little toy. It doesn't really do anything. It's not anything super special, but it's really unique because the gears are constantly moving.
I'm going to turn to Vash and say, Is that where you got the idea for your armor? Did you copy his armor?
Him?
Yeah, his armor, his suit of armor.
No.
Interesting. So your armor is very in depth. Just walking up to the Dr. Clubmaker is his name?
Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Clubmaker. That is correct.
I don't know that yet, but I'm just gonna like walk up to him and I'll just turn around. I'll start like pacing around him. It's very fluid. How on earth did you make that?
The trinket that I gave you?
No, your armor.
Oh, my armor.
Yes.
Oh, well, this is me. Well, to be honest with you, I don't really know how I got in here. All I know is that I was awake and I had ideas and I wanted to build things, and for some reason or another, I'm in this really cool almost like metal body, but it's not armor. No, it's just me.
So you're a living suit of armor.
Boy, I would hope so. I mean, I don't really have to eat that much or really anything. Honestly, I just need to kind of sit down and just hang out and not move for a little while, and then I'm good, and I get recharged. Oh, charge! That'd be a good idea. Yeah, that sounds like it'd be cool. I could put that gear and then I make that makeshift that. Hey Vash, can you hand me that can you hand me that scratchbook over there? And it literally is just like, it's literally sheet metal, like it, but it's like very thin, but that's his like scrapbook.
Yeah, I just like walk over, grab it, and come back, and here you go.
Oh, thanks so much. He like pulls it over, slams it down to the table, and like immediately like grabs a piece of chalk, and he just starts like kind of drawing out like an idea of like it seems to be some sort of like instrument that does different mechanical things, and he has like an end to it. He's like, yeah, that'd be really interesting. I could make something out of this, and then it could get bust, and the charge could do. Yeah, this might take me a while, but yeah, this might work. I could do that. Yeah, definitely. let's see. We need a couple springs, and you just see him as he like begins to start like putting items together. He's taking different gears and he's pulling different levers, sheets of metal. You see him walk over to an anvil that's towards the back of the shop, and the shop isn't really like, I would say, large. There is a back room that is enclosed off just by a couple draped sheets. In the middle of the actual like shop itself, he's got like maybe I would say like 2 shelves on each side of the wall that are like on each side of the windows that are looking outside. The main door entrance doesn't have anything on that wall, and then as you walk in, there is a nice counter that like wraps across, and actually has like one of those flip up things that he can like maneuver back in through the shop. But there's like little trinkets and toys on each of the different like shelves. There's like different birds and like cool like what appears to be like braces that can like go over like someone's arm. There's different like gauntlets, different, I would say like shoulder armor, but like made with like different metals and have like, like one of them has like a ruby in it, and there's just different little trinkets that are all over the place, and he's just working like crazy on this one counter space, and then behind the counter there's like an anvil that he like builds and like has all these like tools that are hanging up on the shop. So
well, this has been interesting, enlightening, and very confusing. I'm going to go back to the rest of my group. If you want to stop by and meet the rest of the people who can kill dragons, you can stop by the Moon Maiden Temple. We're all holed up there for a little bit.
yeah, no, I don't think I'll do that. I'm gonna make sure my shop's okay. Actually, I think there might be some damage that's on the roof, but if you ever want to stop by, like, more than happy to. But hey, thanks so much for all the help. I really appreciate it. And you see as like his one's arm, he like puts his thumbs up. It just like literally 180s, and there's like this almost kind of saw blade that just starts spinning around like and he just starts cutting sheet metal through.
As I walk past, I'm gonna lean in towards Vash, and I'll say, "That was really mostly for you, but it's okay. Well, he's a very interesting fellow." And I'll walk out and join back with the rest of my group.
I'll just casually like follow along.
Yeah. As you leave and you're headed towards the Moon Maiden Temple. Currently, Moorish has entered into the building too. The Moon Maidens have healed King Julius at this point, and are just kind of ensuring everyone's safety. As Karst is still kind of you were on top of the you were on the altar after King Julius left, right? With
I went up there with
Krod, correct?
Well, I was
Krod,
with Eva, and then Krod had his moment at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Krod's body's still up there. But at this point it's just you and Eva that are standing up there as people are kind of making their way in.
Krod is like gone, right? Like there's no sign of life. Like he's passed at this point. Yeah, he's done. I'm gonna pick him up and turn to Eva and say, well, I think there's some business that he's taken care of here. I'm gonna take him out to the courtyard. Make sure to pass the news on to everyone, I guess. And I'm gonna head out like sort of probably like right around the same time everybody else is like starting to come in.
Yeah. You kind of nod. A couple of the sisters sisters make eye contact with you, and one of them puts her arm on your shoulder and goes, do you have a place to bury his body?
Well, I was just planning on the courtyard out there. It looks like a spot he'd like to hang out for a while. If you have a better one in mind, I guess. Open suggestions.
Queen Eliza immediately stands up and she's like, "No, that will not do. He was someone who he saved my life, and the least I can do is give him a proper burial." She kind of looks over at King Julius, and he nods and kind of agrees with her, and she goes, "We will do it properly." Turns to a couple of the guards and goes, "Make the accommodations." Like, "Yes, Your Majesty." And a few of them kind of begin to trickle out. At this point, Morge has entered into the temple, and as you enter, you do see that Karst is holding the body of Krod. Everyone's kind of gathered towards that entrance area.
So I guess this is Morge's first time noticing that Krod is dead, right? Because I wasn't there.
Nope. This is your first time knowing that Krod's dead. Both player and person. Both IRL and in-game.
You think I didn't watch? I figured, but yeah. So I think Morge takes that a lot harder than she thought she would, because Morge's whole plan on this trip was to make and protect friends, and she did the first half of that, but not the second half. So I think she's gonna go out in the courtyard just kind of by herself and basically play the equivalent of Scotland the Brave on her bagpipes as they get the funeral preparations ready, because music is how she sort of expresses herself when she's confused, you know?
Yeah, so you walk down the steps, very mournful, and begin to play the bagpipes. Probably the most emotional you've played in a while. And as you're playing, a few of the other townsfolks begin to hear, and you see a few of them come up to you, and they're just really listening in terms of everything. As you're playing it, there's a slow silence that begins to kind of make its way throughout the city. As you begin to play the bagpipes, it almost begins to sound louder and louder as everyone is taking a moment to really comprehend and process the events that just unfolded within their city. And as your tune comes to a stop, and you finish playing, a few of the townsfolk you see surrounding you, which was once maybe 5 or 6, probably about 20 or 30 people that are all looking at you and with a slight grin on their face, knowing that, we didn't know we needed to hear this, but we're glad we did. There isn't an eruption or any sort of clapping, but there's a sense of like a few head nods, and a few of you are looking your way and smiling. And get a thumbs up from a few other townsfolk as well. So at this point, what are the rest of you doing? So Aura, what are you doing? Karst, what are you doing? Eva?
Well, Karst is going to, before he hands over Krod, he's just going to reach into Krod's little jacket or shirt, whatever sort of top he has on there, and grab his little wooden stick, the sharpened one that he always carried around. He's going to grab that, put it in his pocket real quick, and he's going to turn to
you pull...
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. When you pull the stick, you pull this like dagger stick out, you notice that there's a lot of like different markings that are on the stick that were once not there before. And what it appeared to be he had wrapped in leather all the way around, which was like really a great grip. He actually carved out everybody's name onto the dagger. So he wrote Morge, Karst, Eva, Aura, and Salithal. And he carved out each one of their names. And instead of it being an actual like dagger, he actually shaved down the hilt of it, so it's not pointing. It's just a very nice, smooth And it looks like he just took so much time really making sure that it has the essence of beauty, and really put all of his hard work into making sure that this was a nice little wooden piece of his own.
Little buddy always had a good heart. I'm going to turn to the priestess or the guards that were going to take him away for the funeral rites, and I'm just going to say, remember this little guy, he always wanted to be an adventurer. Make sure that he's sent out like one. I'm going to hand him over.
Yeah,
and
you do, and Queen Eliza actually walks in with her 2 kids on both of her sides, and is escorted with the guards, making their way actually to the second tier of the city, and being there's already like, you can see that there's like being like a lot of wooden stakes and a lot of pieces of wood that are currently being built up, and it looks like they're going to do a nice little like fire funeral where they burn the body and say some things. That's how they honor them. And in addition to that, you hear all of you hear a really large sigh as it's getting slower and slower. The battle master comes rushing forward, headed in your direction, and lands in the courtyard where all of you are currently standing. Where's the king?
Wait, they're over by the where the fire is, right? Where the funeral's happening, correct?
They're not on the second tier yet. Just you guys can see from the courtyard and looking up the steps that they're currently setting up like a rites of fire, and
so they're still,
the queen and the royal guards are making their way up towards those steps to where he will be, funeral by fire, and then you see that as this happens, like the battle master, flies down from the sky, lands in front of the rest of you that are currently in the courtyard. Asking.
Okay, I'm gonna point towards where they're all heading up the steps and saying they're headed towards the fire over there.
Yeah, King Julius is not over there. I literally am looking over. Is King Julius safe?
King Julius is in the courtyard still, guys. He's in the temple getting healed.
No.
No, didn't he get healed already? And I thought he was with Queen Eliza now.
Queen Eliza was flanked by her 2 kids. The king wasn't with her.
All right, then. Yeah, he's inside. He's still getting healed then.
What is Morge doing at this point?
Can I roll a perception?
Absolutely, you can roll a perception.
Can I call the DM a bastard?
Not yet.
And you can call the DM a bastard. You'll just
22 total.
Did you roll a natural 20 or?
No,
Okay.
I have a +3, don't I?
Yeah, you get very
Oh no, 21. Sorry.
Yeah. You get worried for a moment. You're kind of like, oh, where is the king? And you are looking around and kind of just looking back towards the temple. You see him standing at the end of the temple, shaking the head Moon Maiden's hand and saying, thank you so much for. You hear him kind of over here like acknowledging, thanks for healing me and everything, and making eye contact with you and nodding his head and beginning to make his way down the steps and to greet your group.
Good, because we took our eyes off him for like 45 seconds, and I swear to God.
King Julius is a nice king. He's a nice.
Yeah, I know.
He's also very powerful, so I'd be surprised if he got taken away without a fight.
He's already been kidnapped once. Somebody already tried to steal him from us literally earlier today.
I don't blame you for asking to roll perception. That is your right. That is your right as a player.
The one thing we can ask the DM to do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what you're supposed to do. He makes his way down, and as you guys are kind of like looking around, you're looking around Morge, and the rest of you kind of point. You see as the battle master runs over to him, and I'll have I'll have who's the closest person would be Morge, and she's kind of knowing. So I'll have you roll another perception check for me, see if you can overhear anything.
Okay.
And if you want to roll, if you want, you can kind of make your way closer, and I'll have you roll kind of like a stealth check if you want.
Right, yeah, I have a +3 to perception. I have it written down.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. So it was less good. So it was 14.
Yeah. As the Battlemaster is kind of rushing over there to talk to the king, you walk a little bit closer just to make sure you can hear kind of their conversation. And not hearing the full extent of it, you hear that all you hear from that conversation is Anslan is really hurt, and I don't think he's gonna make it. The king has a very shocked look on his face, and there's a really great expression of concern as he says to the Battlemaster, "Take me to him now." You see as the Battlemaster, his wings spreading out again outside of his armor, and this radiant, almost golden energy takes the kind of like puts his arms out like, "Come on, King," and King smiles and casts levitate on himself and goes up into the air and begins making his way towards the area where Anslan currently is, which is on the other end of probably on more, I would say, like on the eastern side, completely opposite to where you guys are currently.
Okay. Can I go back to the group and ask, by chance, does anyone know where that dragon egg went? They brought us all our things, but was the egg with them?
I turn towards Salithil, and I'm like, Salithil, do you
I'm not
have...
there yet.
You're not there yet?
I would have answered. I'm not there yet.
Okay. Last text.
I mean, at this point, Salithil, you'd probably been like right, like as you're approaching, as Morge is asking this, I'd see you there by now.
Okay. Yeah, I've got the egg. Why?
I feel like that's going to be very important soon. It seems as though the dragon is grievously injured.
Well, that's disappointing.
That's really bad.
That's a word for it, yes.
I would have liked to meet a dragon. Do you think we'd be able to make it there if we ran?
I doubt it. They're all flying over there, which means he doesn't have much time left. I'm sure by the time we got there, he would be dead.
Well, let's talk about what we do next then, I guess. We're going to be handing off a dragon egg to a very obviously broken empire. We're going to be butting off either to get Aura some shoes or dealing with Blackrock, or we could do something entirely different. Is Vash with me as well?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Vash, you're there too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so now she knows we have a golden dragon egg.
Yeah.
Oh.
Karst, Eva, this is somebody. We almost killed a red dragon wormling. It was attacking a shop. I went inside. It had a very interesting metal man inside. And
that metal man is my friend, sir.
Term of endearment, don't worry. But in the meantime, I don't believe we've ever been properly introduced, and if we have, I have a very short memory. What's your name?
My name is Vash.
Vash. My name's Salithil. We're going to start off with me because it's probably the hardest one.
Okay.
Going down the list, and then I'll point over at Eva.
My name is Eva.
Great introduction. My name's Kost. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Okay.
My name is Morge, darling. It's wonderful to meet you.
Wait,
I'm sure.
Were you there too?
I
Yeah.
was. I think we cast some lovely spells on each other.
Yeah, that's right.
I had to run off and make sure that my friends were okay, and it turns out they weren't, so I'm so sorry for rushing off so rudely.
Oh, no worries.
Apparently didn't do any good. So
All here.
DM
More-
smile. DM smiles
like-
and snickers.
We should all be concerned, very concerned.
No,
I
I'm
know
just
some
smiling
things
because
about
Maya had no idea what happened as Moorish. That's all the reason I'm smiling.
Oh.
Sailthil points over to Aura.
And the quiet one is Aura.
Muted.
You are muted in Discord, Oscar.
You are muted. You are muted. You are muted.
That's that. Hi, Laura. Wish you could have met under better circumstances.
It's okay, I guess. I don't know what the circumstances are, but okay.
The city's on fire.
Yeah, that's true.
there were 2 different dragon attacks today.
Wait, there was 2?
Well, the big one. There was the big one, and then all the little smaller ones.
Oh, okay.
But yes, end result is a city on fire, which does not make for excellent first impressions. But this does not really change our current issue. What the hell are we going to do?
With?
In general, I'm
Yeah.
not a fan of leaving a very precious object in the care of people whose power has been utterly broken. I don't like carrying around a portable target on my back. And there's no
I'm already
real
a target, so
good
give it to me,
in-between.
I'll carry it.
my back in the general sense. If you were going to be, I'm full disclosure, I met you like half an hour ago. I don't fully trust you yet. I'm not going to hand over the thing that I've risked my life for the past 2 weeks just to the
Not
first
even
person.
half an hour ago. It's more like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's been a long 5 minutes.
Who can smack things really good, because if truth be told, if he did that, Big Man would be carrying it right now.
I'll do smack things good.
So I am interested, and I'll turn back to the greater group, what everyone's plans are, because I would love to move on and get back into a civilization that isn't on fire, but if we need to recuperate, and if anyone feels any obligation to recuperate, rebuild, get back at a person who stabbed their king in the arm, that's all valid as well.
I have a question for Lawson real quick. Would Eva have like literal any idea where Dorn might have gone?
The last that you saw Dorn, he was in the palace at dinner with you guys. So if there would be any sort of indication of like where you would want to start looking, that's where you would.
Okay. Would I Eva know anything of
You know where he was sitting for sure.
I know, but would Eva know like anywhere that like I guess any places that have significance to Dorn as at all or anything like
The guild house, probably the guild base.
that? Well, that's all on like the first tier where the dragon is. So it may not be
Well,
the
the
best.
dragon's on the
What?
first tier. The guild base is on the second tier, and
But
then
it
the
was
third tier's the
destroyed,
palace.
correct?
When you left out, it was on fire, and there were bodies everywhere.
Right.
He's a larger statured individual. You might be able to, even might be able to
Okay.
look in terms of. Actually, you know what? Roll an intelligence check for me. I shouldn't be telling you all this. Roll an intelligence check for me. Eva's smart. Low DC.
Is she?
Yeah, it's a good house rule. Like, you want to ask me how your player would think, I'm just going to have you roll an intelligence check. You know,
Sure.
it's not, and I'll be honest with you beforehand. So it's all good.
That's a dirty 20.
Yeah, so even just kind of thinking about all the events that had happened, you know, you saw the guild base that were lit up on fire. A few bodies were on the outside, burned to a crisp. You do remember that you didn't really look around in the palace for Dorn
Okay.
during that whole battle. So you kind of get a sense of like, yeah, I might want to look there first.
All right, I'm gonna look at. Has the red dragon left at all, or is it still?
At this point, it's just a very, very small silhouette.
Okay, so we have no idea.
Going across the sky. It's still dark out. There is a full moon out. It's getting later into the night. We're now like approaching, midnight at this point.
Then I'll say, I want to know where the hell Dorn went during that fight. I think he's either in some part of the palace that's possibly now destroyed, or he's by the base of the Silver Falcons. But I need to have
base was destroyed, palace was not.
Base was destroyed, the palace was not. Okay, I thought
just the ceiling.
Just the ceiling. Okay, then
up, yeah.
All right, then I'll say that then.
You think he was in on it with Salazar, or you think he's in trouble?
Even if he wasn't, I want to know if he knew if anything was off with Salazar.
That's fair. I guess from a bigger picture, I think I agree with Sale. I don't know if I trust. Just to wrap back real quick. I don't know if I trust this egg that we've been carrying. Well, sorry, I look at Vash. This thing that we've been carrying. I don't know if I trust it with people who are apparently quite defenseless currently. I know we were really hoping to unload this off of ourselves, but and maybe we're in over our heads.
I think it might be. Honestly, I think it might be best for us to keep it for right now. But
Morris, what do you think?
I was just going to say, in terms of total transparency, I knew that Salazar was not great. I didn't know quite what was wrong with him, but there were rumors going around when we first got here that he was up to something. I don't know what it was because I was only in the clubhouse for a day, but I did get some gossip and that was involved. So there is a chance if we poke around with the rest of the Silver Falcons that they will have more information about Salazar.
Okay. Well, we can go there after we check the palace. I want to know where he went. I still want to know where Dorn went specifically.
I think the exact information I had was he is sketchy. So I didn't have a full story, but someone.
I wish you had shared that information with me sooner, but, that's fine. I say we go back to the palace, but I don't know how everyone else feels.
Well, it gives us a direction for the meantime, at the very least. I'd let the king know where we're going, just in case he needs a quick way to...
Would we pass him on the way?
He already left.
Well, we don't know where Onslin is.
So currently, you don't know where?
Where Onslin is. That's where they're going.
So
we don't know where
you heard a loud thud on the opposite side of where you guys are. So think about it like you're here. This is the other side of the city on the first tier. Second tier is here. Third tier goes up higher. So it's like opposite to where you are. So if you went to the second tier where all the guild bases are and kind of looped around, you could like oversee kind of everything, and it doesn't take long to do that. So
okay, then I say we go up through the guild bases and then to the palace.
Would it like to stay for Krod's funeral?
As much as I'm grieving over him, the town is still in part of a panic. I feel like I need some answers.
I'll stay here with Crod. It's alright.
I'll stay as well. He was not not what I expected him to be.
I also would like to stay.
Eva, I'll go with you. I don't want to leave you alone right now with all this going on. But Moish, and I'm gonna pull out the little wooden stake I grabbed off Crod's body. I'm gonna hold it out to Moish and say, I made sure to grab this. It was, as we all know, it was very important to him. Your name was on it first, so I think it belongs to you now.
I think Morge takes it like as if it's made of like sugar glass, like it's the most delicate thing she's ever held, and just silently starts weeping. Just like big, ugly tears, but no sobbing. Just waterworks and is like.
I'll put a hand on Morge's shoulder, just pat it, and walk past.
Yeah. It's almost kind of like it's almost kind of like from Full Metal Alchemist, like, you know, oh, it's beginning to rain. Like, no, it's raining all right. And you just tears are just pouring down both the sides of your cheeks from your eyes. As Karst, Eva, and Vash, are you going to follow them to the palace?
Randomly go.
Okay. So you three are headed off as it's being set up where Salithul, Aura, and Morge are currently, you know, being set up for this funeral and everything. As more like the royal guards are like setting it up very nicely across, and looks like they're making sure that this is going to be very proper. As this happens, you guys walk up the steps as more guards are rushing down. I'll have all of you roll perception checks for me. So Chris, Luke, and Haley, all three roll perception checks for me.
We finally have even numbers to split the party evenly.
Oh, that was crap.
Yes.
That's a nat one.
11.
Party more.
I thought 11 was bad.
Party more.
It's a 5 after my modifier.
19.
19. Okay, so
Thank God somebody rolled well.
Karst, you're really not.
The one.
You're really not focused in terms of kind of looking around at the city. You're really just walking up the steps, just making sure that you're not going to trip over. So you continue making your way up there. Eva, you're still kind of trying to process, kind of looking over back and forth. You just see your smoke and everything going on, and Vash, you are looking over in terms of different parts of the city, and you're seeing that a lot of the townsfolk are helping each other, and there was once fires that were brewing all over the place are being put out pretty rapidly, and you get a sense of that, and you get a sense of pride knowing that being a part of this wholesome community and this city, everyone's really like in this sort of state of turmoil and despair and fear. They're all banding together and acting as one, and you get a good sense of pride knowing that, you know, you're a part of this.
Okay. Good to know.
As you guys make your way up to the second tier, you finally get to the very top, and the smell as you arrive to the final step is very foul and gross and grotesque. As looking around you, which was once guild bases, are crumbled and smashed and burned and singed, and the Silver Falcon, you see just bones on top of the nest that are just in a disarray. There are 3 bodies of different members laying on the ground. Their swords are actually melted into the actual cobblestone into the ground due to the high intensity of the flames.
Are they all like skeletons, or would I be able to like recognize
it's
any
just
of them?
it's really just some. There are some that are skeletons, but there are some that is just ash and just indented. It's almost kind of like a silhouette of just like a burned, darkened body into the ground, and it's kind of like lighter black, kind of like smoke. Everything kind of goes around it. What do you guys go first?
I'm going to run over to the Silver Falcon space and see if there's anybody there, like, one, just searching through the rubble, trying to find any survivors, or if anyone else is well, like I just see like rubble and ash, or do I see anyone specifically
Yeah,
standing out of there?
you roll a perception check for me.
That was crap. That's a 4.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of pulling the door is on its last hinge, almost perpendicular to where the opening is, and you kind of just pull it open. As you do, it slams down to the ground. Ash kind of dissipates up and everything. And it's very smoky inside of this building. The glass of the windows are shattered and broken. The ceiling has now caved in. The tables are completely destroyed. Everything it's just a huge fire. You see in a corner, all you see is like half of a skeleton. It appears to be the blast from the window itself, as all the members that you had currently met that day are all deceased inside of this building and base. Looking around and making your way through and looking into those once rooms are not rooms anymore. The second tier of this building is completely shot, and you're just looking around the rubble, seeing if you can find any sign of Dorn, and you don't.
Yeah, just Eva kind of is like frantically looking through the rubble and everything, and it's just kind of like just in shock with how quick everything had happened, and starts kind of like almost shaking with a rage a little bit.
As you're still standing there, the banner that was once held in high regard just slowly flops down to the floor in front of your feet. It's just covered in ash and soot and ripped apart and torn in different areas from all the pieces of wood that it had splintered and flew in different directions. The emblem of Silver Falcons is just sitting there, just all mangled up in front of you, right by your feet.
I'll kind of like just take a second to kind of look at. I kind of like get on my knees and I just kind of like look at everything around me, and I'm just kind of still really mad, and I start punching the ground, like pounding on the ground, and just like, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it.
Vash and Karst, you're hearing this commotion in there.
Should one of us go talk to her?
Hi, you're welcome to come as well, but I'm gonna hop on in there, and I'll just jog my way in. I'm gonna start yelling for like, Eva, Eva. Is she like right by the entrance, or is she like?
She's in the middle of the room.
Okay.
Right off the entrance. So, yeah. It's just completely destroyed everything. There's singed bodies that are burnt to ash all over the ground. The weapons that were very elegant and beautiful are melted to the point where they're sticking in different areas. I mean, it's all gone.
Eva, we're gonna find him, all right? Not just him. This isn't over. I know it looks bad in here, but Silver Falcons aren't done. Not as long as you're still standing. Or kneeling, in this case.
Sorry. That got me more than I thought it would.
But it's gonna be all right. Hell, we got 3 Silver Falcons in our party alone. We're gonna be just fine. But we're gonna find Dorn. I bet he's all right. He's an oaf, but he could kick my ass, and that says a lot. So, Vash, you want to say something comforting?
Eva kind of stands up, with stands up slowly and then kind of puts her shoulders back and kind of turns around and looks at Karst and says, I will rebuild all of this. But first we need to find Dorn. And if we can't find him in the palace, then
we'll find him
I don't know where
outside
to
the
start
palace.
looking, but we'll find him somewhere.
Right.
And if you need an extra set of hands to help you rebuild, I'm down to help. I have the tools.
I barely know you, but I appreciate the offer.
I know you really know me.
All right. Sorry. I'm going to kind of walk out of the ash and the rubble and then kind of start saying, let's make our way towards the palace and kind of start walking that way.
Right. Yeah.
You make your way up towards the palace. As you do, you are able to see down from where it is, and you do see that the Battle Master and King Julius are currently with Anslan, and this like huge golden dragon is just draped over many different buildings and houses, and you hear the breathing that is very low and echoey, getting slower and slower by the minute, as you're not making out all the words, but you're hearing, friend, and, it'll be okay, and just a few words here and there from Anslan himself. I did my best. I protected him. I protected you all. And as you enter the palace, who enters in first?
It'd probably be me because I'm leading.
Okay, Eva, roll a perception check for me.
All right, I've been doing absolute crap on these, so hopefully I do better.
If someone wants to aid, you can.
That's a dirty 20.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know Dorn too, so I'm gonna try to
Yeah,
aid if you want to get advantage.
Entering into the palace, and Vash, you haven't seen this before, but you can tell its elegance and beauty, and where had been a beautiful arch in terms of its ceiling is a very large opening, and almost the beam of the moonlight is being shined down in specific various different areas. The stones that made up the ceiling were very large. Probably, I would say maybe about, probably at least 4 or 5 width in terms of like how 4 or 5 feet in terms of width, and same in length, and pretty large in itself. As you guys are kind of looking around and looking at everything, you go to the chair that Dorn was sitting in, Eva, and looking down, you see that currently in that area where he was sitting, there's a ton of blood, like just a ton. And even looking down, you see that his pouch is there, his coin pouch is there, and like a couple pieces of his belt are kind of like on the floor next to it. And looking around kind of and finding and navigating this blood path, you see that it's actually moved towards that back corner where Salazar was actually moving towards, and make his way out towards that like back opening to get out of the palace. You begin to follow in that direction.
I'm going to pick up the coin purse before I leave.
Yeah. You pick up the coin purse. I'm assuming that you're not opening it right away. You just kind of pick it up. And
Yeah, I just kind of pick it up and put it in my
okay.
inventory.
All right. So what are you doing?
I'm just gonna keep following the trail, like you
Yeah.
said, and to kind of, I'm gonna gesture over to Bash and Carson, kind of say, "I think I found something," and then kind of gesture towards the way that I'm walking.
Yeah, it's a large room. You continue on, and you're kind of just following the trail path, and there's like all these like.
I'm gonna pull out my
mangles.
wand while I'm walking though, so I have it on, out at least.
Okay. Yeah. I'll have you roll one more perception check for me.
God in heaven.
Actually, it'd be investigation because you're really investigating and following.
Ooh,
so
I'm better at that.
It'd be investigation. Yeah.
I caught it.
I saw that too. I was like, oh, I really hope you dropped that one.
17.
Yeah. Following and navigating. I mean, it's pretty chaotic. There was like spells being thrown. There was rubble falling down the ground, and looking on, you hear and are able to get to the back corner where there's like an open door almost, and in the corner there is laying on the ground with the bottom half of his body off. His left arm is like mangled and broken in many different places, and with his large the large I'm gonna say a large knife, but like almost a steak knife that's kind of like bloodied and like dark ichor on the ground all over there, and from where his left arm was, you hear a little cough, and you realize that that's Dorn.
I run over immediately.
He's just coughing out blood, and half his body, the bottom half of his body is gone, and on the right side you are kind of opening and kind of looking to see how bad it is, and his ribs are open. There's everything's opened up, and the right side is just mangled. His eyes are beginning to fade as he kind of looks over at you and just like, who's there? And you realize that he can't see.
It's me, Dorn.
How bad of shape am I right now?
I wish I could say that you've been in worse condition, but
that bastard Salazar. He betrayed us all. I don't have much time left, but I got this from the fucker. And he like kind of takes his right hand and lifts up, and it is Salazar's arm. Fucker thought he could get away without being scratched. Whoa. And just with his right arm, he is kind of pulling over the different fingers, and he pulls it up to a middle finger with Salazar's finger and just like, fuck him, right?
He's gonna pay for what he did to you and this city. I'll be sure to find him.
Yeah. And he just kind of puts his hand out that's just mangled, broken, and I mean it looks like he really he pulled him down. It really looks like he fought to really do his best to get Salazar, and he takes his arm out and puts it on your shoulder, Eva, and then just with his fist just kind of puts it towards your heart like this and goes, just remember, be you. And you just see him in fade as he kind of slouches over to the side.
Eva's going to just kind of because I'm assuming that Eva's down on her knees at this point next to him and kind of holding his hand basically, and starts kind of silently crying and shivering.
Yeah, Karsten, Vash, you're seeing this unfold in front of you. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna just casually get down on one knee and like start like kneeling, I guess. Trying to comfort in a way, but not actually comforting because I don't know how to.
I'm just gonna kneel on Eva's other side. Just put a hand on her shoulder and just in silence. Karsh doesn't have anything to say at this point.
As this moment happens, a piece of rubble falls from the top of the archway ceiling to the ground. You just hear a little, and as the moonlight beams out, it just kind of beams over the four of you that are kind of there in that little area. Few moments pass, and you do begin to hear a couple of trumpets that are being played as the rest of you are currently surrounding this wooden ceremony for Krod and his funeral. The procession is very elegant. Trumpets are being played as the body of Krod is currently on a very elegant sheet of royal lining. And I mean, they're carrying him on a piece of wood, so they're guards on each end. You know, one's holding like this, and one's holding behind him. They're making his body way around, and Queen Eliza is still in her regular royal garments, and the rest of them are following. Put Krod's body on the pile of sticks that are properly organized, in different directions. A few townsfolk are not exactly sure, but knowing that it's normally a royal funeral with this amount of royal guards and trumpets, and no one's really burned this way, and their bodies are in this type of way, unless you're royalty. And Queen Eliza stands up in front of everyone, holding, a handkerchief and saying, It's not often that I have to be here. The last passing of my father's funeral years back was the last time we've been here. This individual, by the name of Krod, sacrificed his life to save not only myself, but many others tonight. We will honor his memory in this royal procession, and I hope all of you take a moment to think about ones that you may have lost and loved and cared for. And just know that this isn't the end for all of us. And that if we believe in the gods that we serve and we believe in everything, that there is hope and there is life after we perish. And by the seven gods, we will light this torch, and the torch is lit, and Krod's body gets lit up with everyone. Mors, I'm assuming you're with the rest of the trumpets and other musical people that are playing at this point.
I think if Morge is anywhere, she's probably way in the back, trying not to have to listen to the music that's being played.
Okay.
But she has to, but that's what's going to get her. Not anybody's speeches, not fire, not any of that. It's going to be the music that gets her. So she's trying to be not near that right now. Probably.
Yeah. So Morges, you're towards the back end. Aura and Silithal, are you accompanying her, or where are you guys right now?
I think that I would be near the back, but when the pyre gets lit, I would walk forward up to the front. And when it starts to become a roaring fire, I'm going to stick my hand in and place my hand on top of Krod's forehead and say in Elvish, quick steps and easy roads before leaving it there for a moment, just enough to feel the singe and the pain, and then bring my hand back out.
At this point, Aura, what are we doing here?
After Salafil like says his prayer, I'm just gonna approach like the body, like the burning like pile, and I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire, like 60 feet in the air. So like all the crowd and everyone can like see like the glittering, just like motes of like light, like floating down. But no one's
It's a
affected.
yeah, it's a beautiful sight as you do this spell. At which point, everyone takes a moment, and as that happens, Queen Eliza says, I must now make my way towards the other side of the city, as I've been informed that Anslan the Great is about to perish. And it's almost kind of like a procession as everyone is following Queen Eliza towards the golden dragon Anslan, and is beginning to make their way and weave through the different roads, as there are probably like 4 or 5 royal guards that are kind of like in a perimeter around her, and everyone's beginning to head that way. Are you all following, or what are you guys doing?
Can we take a 2-minute break? Because my phone's gonna die and I gotta plug it in. Sorry.
Sure. That's
Sorry.
fine. No, we can totally take a 2-minute break. So we're going to take a 2-minute break, and we'll pick up as about the fallen dragon.
1,
Movies.
and we're back.
Welcome back. So, before our break, the funeral procession had continued on throughout the winding roads of the city, leading to the great golden dragon Anslan. As Krod's body is still being burned up in flames, and people begin to kind of make their way towards the golden dragon. Eva, Karst, and Vash, are you guys headed back now?
Probably, yeah. Towards Onslan.
Okay.
Because that was our next plan, to probably go towards there.
Okay. You three begin to make your way down on one of the other opposite ends of the stairwells, kind of near Onslan, and make your way veering off and beginning to kind of maneuver. There's a lot of you see that there are a lot of townsfolk that are heavily injured where Onslan is, and you hear a lot of the royal guards that are kind of like outside of it. They're telling all the townsfolk to get as close as they possibly can to the golden dragon. Like, please, everyone, hurry, get over here, get close, get close, get close. And you don't understand why.
We're on our way as well, I believe.
Aura, Morge, all. So you guys continue on, and as everyone kind of begins to surround this golden dragon, Onslan's head is laid down on like a pile of rubble, kind of slanted to the side a little bit. The battle master is on his left side, putting his hand on him, and you can see kind of his head, dropping down a little bit as his large great sword is currently in its sheath on his back. King Julius stands up on a pile of rubble that's near Onslan and puts his hand on him and greets everyone and says, "It's moments like this that really make you question the good in people, and I can honestly say I could not have asked to be a king for such a wonderful city, and could have asked for a better friend." And he just begins to tear up as tears begin to form in his eyes, and they are falling down. This great golden dragon has kept the peace and tranquility of our continent for many years. He has kept the chromatic dragons at bay and ensured the safety of all of our major cities of this continent, including our own. I can not thank him enough for doing this. So all I'll say is we must become one, and that all these cities and all these nations must come together and ensure the safety for humanity, for humans, for elves, for orcs, for gnomes, for all races. Not one is higher than the other. Onslan stood for peace, and the only way I can know that I can honor his legacy would be sure the safety of all. And as Onslan, he kind of moves his head over and just kind of nudges King Julius, looking at him. I mean, he's got teeth marks, scratch marks all over his body. His wings are crepit and almost like broken in different areas. The actual flaps, there's singe marks, holes, burn marks, scales have been falling off in some areas. And as Onslan takes his final breath, the energy, a light glow begins to happen around a center point of his heart. And as it begins to grow and maneuver around its body, a surge of life erupts from the dragon. And everyone within 120 feet of its body, as this light, glowing, radiant energy begins to just kind of explode and dissipate, all of you get the benefit of finishing a long rest. You get all your spell slots back, full health, everything, as this burst of energy fills out, and just little speckles begin to fly up into the air into the sky, and was once a large dragon is gone.
While that happens, can I reach like where I know the dragon egg is and feel it to see if there's any reaction?
You put your hand on the dragon egg, and it is very warm, and kind of like it's in your pouch. I'm assuming, right? Like your bag of holding.
Yeah. I honestly don't know whether or not I have a pouch or whether I have like a backpack.
It's a backpack.
Yeah, you can have like.
I gave it to you.
Yeah.
Backpack. All right, then I'll just like be feeling the area where I know where it is.
Yeah, you kind of like. It's almost at the bottom of the backpack, making sure it's there, and you kind of put your hand there, and it's like it's a lot warmer than you'd recognize before. The battle master turns his head to you, Salithol, and walks your way, and greets you and goes, I think you and I need to talk real quick.
Let's find a spot. I'll see if there's an area that's a little bit more while being respectful.
Yeah, roll perception check for me, just to see if there's maybe like any sort of spot that you would know that no one's listening.
No, 22.
Yeah, just looking around and kind of there's different alleyways and stuff. There's actually towards the stairs, there's kind of like a little corner that you can kind of make sure that no one's really like looking or anything. Maybe you just like takes you about 15-20 seconds to kind of walk over as everyone's still there, and King Julius is just kind of looking up at the sky. And the battle master looks at you and goes, I've been searching for what you have in your backpack. And he takes off his helmet and he goes, I'm not really. Just so you know that I'm not full of it. I'm a human. And you look at him, and he's got like really short, kind of almost buzz-shaved hair, scar that's right over his eyebrow. That's a black eyebrow, brown eyes, very much scruff all over his beard, and he's got scars on his neck. He's got scratch marks. He's got claw marks. Top part of his ear looks to have gone. Just kind of looks like like a blade or arrow kind of shot like the top of it. And he looks at it and goes, I'm the battle master. I've been searching for the for that dragon egg for quite some time. Actually, for a decade now. Over a decade. I was gifted this golden armor from Onslan himself, and my sole purpose is to ensure the safety of the realm. He gave me this sword, and he kind of like grabs it and pulls it up a little bit, and you see the radiant energy still kind of glowing in there. He goes, he gifted me this quite a while ago, and he bestowed this sword upon me to ensure the safety of others and to ensure the safety of him. And my sole purpose is to make sure that the golden dragon lives on. There can only be one in this realm, and right now it's in your backpack. So I know this might come as a surprise, but I need to keep that egg safe.
This is somewhat a predicament for me, if you understand. I fully recognize your power and your station and your responsibility. That being said, you are also an extremely well-known figure, and Cairo Anton, I recognized him on that big red dragon. He knew that the egg had made its way into Datara. And now that Anton is gone, there is no meaningful deterrence anymore. And it's a whole lot easier to track down a city than to track down a small group of quickly moving people. I fully recognize that this is your responsibility or power, but you also have a responsibility to the people here to be a harbinger of justice and a figurehead to the strength that still remains. But if it's known that you have what is so incredibly valuable that it caused the death of the greatest protector of the city, it would be laughably easy for Cairo Anton to once again walk in and simply take it this time. I believe that the best strength of the egg right now is the unknowing, the lack of knowledge of where it is, save for a few particular individuals. I do not mind handing over the egg, but I do not want it kept in a city. I want it moving around quiet until there's rumors it could be all across the continent. I think this is the best plan, and honestly, I know I can hide very, very well.
He smiles at you and is like, "That's exactly why I was bestowed this mission. You see, when a dragon is born, there comes a time where a golden dragon egg will reveal itself in an unknown location. And many know about its beauty and rarity, and if the wrong entities find it, well, they can destroy the egg. And once it's destroyed, there's no reincarnation, or the life of the golden dragon is gone. My sole purpose is to ensure that the golden dragon lives on. I plan on taking this egg, protecting it, and going to another location, which unfortunately I can't tell you at this time due to the safety. But the reason I'm taking it there is for the egg to hatch and be reborn, to ensure that all of us will be gifted this magnificent being again. So I hope that you can trust me and know that I'm not one to go back on my word. And he kind of looks at you and puts out his arm and just goes, I give you my word. I'll keep this safe.
I'm going to grasp his hand, grasp his wrist, pull him in close, and say, never mind. I'm just going to give him the egg because I don't trust my roommates to stay quiet long enough to actually say anything meaningful. I'm going to pull out the egg and swivel it close and duck it in between while I'm grabbing his other arm.
As you go and pull out the dragon egg, it's glowing in a radiant energy, and it's kind of just vroom, 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 kind of almost flickering a little bit. He goes, I see there's new life in here. I will say that it takes quite a time for the egg to hatch, but when it does, I will return to the city. and I will be back, and you will know that I am back. I will call for you, and with that being said, I appreciate everything that you have done here. And he puts his arm on and shakes your hand and goes, and your name for protecting this egg for so long?
My name is Saleth El-Kathara.
Saleth El-Kathara. Well, I'll definitely remember that. And my name is Dak Kenron.
What was his name? Dak?
Dak, D-A-K, and then Kenron, Kenron. But you people call me Battlemaster.
Well then, quick steps and safe travels, Battlemaster.
Likewise. And he takes the egg, and you look as like he actually takes out and he has like some robes and everything, but there is like a bag which kind of looks like a bag of holding, but there is actually a golden dragon emblem on it, and the bag itself is made up of like really fine leather and tuning and everything. He just takes it and puts the egg in there, and as it shuts, you see as it just closes up completely to the point where only his hand, you know, as he touches it, it like almost shuts it completely. So you kind of infer that only his hand can really open and close this satchel, and you feel sort of a relief knowing that the egg's in very good care right now.
Mm-hmm. I'll take a deep breath, a little bit of a sigh, and then I'll bow my head and walk back to the group. I drop my dice.
Oh no. Dropped his dice.
After all that.
I was just holding it in my hand, and then it just slipped down because I angled it wrong.
Bam, bam, bam.
That's our one.
The Battlemaster takes his helmet, puts it back on, and begins to walk back as King Julius greets him. They talk for a moment, and all of you standing together watch as the Battlemaster spreads out his radiant wings and flies off into the distance.
Can I track which way he went?
Yeah, sure. So, knowing that, you see that he is headed very much so north.
Okay.
Not in the same direction that the Red Dragon was going, but more northwest. So, at this point, a few moments pass, and it's gotten very late. You see a lot of the town folk that are moving and making its way into different areas. King Julius invites all of you, including Vash, to come back to the palace as it'll be safe, and staying in, tells you can go back to your rooms, and I have royal guards that are around the perimeter, and you guys are more than welcome to stay with me, and we'll talk in the morning.
Is this like getting near the end of the day? Like we're like going into like resting?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's like 12:30. Like it's really late for you guys. So it's been a long fought. There have been many battles. You made a new friend, and King Julius looks at you and invites you back to the palace, and you guys can stay and rest. And if you guys need whatever, he's there to help you. So what do you guys do?
I would like to stop by Karst's room on the way back to before we go to bed.
Okay.
I'll knock on his door.
I'm coming. And Karst was just sitting on the bed, sort of like head in his hands. But he gets up and lumbers over to the door. It's a little late. You doing okay? You all right?
I'd like to chat, if you have a moment.
Oh, always open for a good friend. And I'll close the door behind him when he comes in.
I'm going to sort of walk up to the side of the bed, and I'm not gonna sit on it, but I'm gonna like crouch down and rest on my heels. I'll say, Karst, have you ever dealt with loss before?
Loss? I mean, I've lost plenty of things in my life. Shoes. Lost my axe once. Sad. But you mean bigger losses than that, I imagine.
Friends, people, cities.
Never quite that scale, but I've lost. Yeah.
How do you manage? I've been thrust into this day with no sense of how it would end. I've never so much seen any one of my people, anyone I would consider allies, die at all before. I'm young. I'm very young comparably to my people, but it never happens. Never in living memory has an elf been slain. They just pass and fade, and I've just been walking through this day with bluster and honor and confidence because I know nothing else. And this is frightening, terrifying. Any of those people on the street easily could have been us. How do you deal with it all?
Right. I wish I had an easy answer for you, Sale. The only thing I have to say is, where I come from, there's the sun and there's the moon, right? People equate that to good, people equate that to evil. The sun, good, moon, evil. And I like to see people the same way too. See things as good, see things as evil. Things just happen, man. The moon's not evil. I think my faith is a testament to that. The sun, life, whatever good you see in the world, I guess. It's just shit. It happens. You move on. You keep going. Why? Because you're good at it. I'll tell you what, Sale. You're one of the toughest people I know. You might not have my mass. You might not have Morge's height. You're pretty close, though. But you're damn tough. And you'll be stronger for it. I know it's hard.
Sailthil's I'm going to stand up and raise my head to meet his gaze for the first time. And I'm going to take out the white dragon scale from the from the first dragon that we ever killed. And I'm going to walk over, place it in his hand, slap it once, and then walk out of the room.
As he walks out, I'm just going to sort of whisper to myself, probably too quiet for him to even hear it, but just, good night, Sale. Let him go.
Go to bed. You're muted, Lawson.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to ruin any moment like that. What are the rest of you guys doing?
I'm gonna
Is
go.
everyone-
I'm gonna go to my room. And I'm gonna start writing a letter for back
Okay.
home. It's gonna like talk about like how I met all of these guys, how we broke into the underground um, black market, the dragon egg and everything, and everything up until like today, and everything that happened afterwards.
Mm-hmm. And
She's
who are you
writing
writing the letter to?
to her parents, her mom and dad. She's gonna light the lamp that her mom gave her, like actually like light it like a candle and stuff. And
Mhm.
she's gonna keep writing all up until today, letting out all her emotions and all the things she's been feeling. How today has quite literally been the worst day of her life. Like losing friends, the one person she lifted up, like since she left home, and trying to figure out what to do next. And how she just doesn't know what to do. So she's gonna sign off and get back to me soon. And she folds it up and throws it into like the lamp. And it like catches fire and the cloud just like goes and leaves.
So I'm assuming it like gets lit on fire, and as it dissipates, it then appears to where her parents are.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least her mom.
Her mom, yeah. A few moments pass throughout the night, and I'll tell you what happens with you in a second. But Morsh, what is Morsh doing now? And Vash, what are you doing? And Eva, what are you doing? That's gonna kind of be the order I'm going. So Morsh, what are you doing first?
I think Morge goes into the room, and Morge has had two different backgrounds. She's had like the rich, fancy, and she's had the like dirt poor. Those are the two ways she was raised, kind of. So I think in this moment she does not want to be rich and fancy. So she's gonna take off the outfit, that the like dress clothes that we must still be wearing, like our dinner clothes, or like the armor that we threw on over them. I think she's gonna take all that off and like a linen shirt and some pants, and grab like her little ukulele and basically find there's every time there's a disaster, there's gonna be one Irish pub where everybody's like, fuck yeah, we lived! Like, she's gonna find that place where instead of it being like, oh no, we got attacked, it's gonna be like, hell yeah, we're here after the attack. And she's gonna go find that pub and just not be involved in it, but be there in that atmosphere as opposed to like our castle just got knocked down atmosphere.
Yeah. So as everyone's kind of going to bed and everything, I'm assuming you're leaving the castle to go find that place, right?
On like tier 1. I want like there's gonna be a bar fight and they're gonna keep serving drinks. Like that kind of.
Yeah. No problem. So you actually
leave the king and queen and not rich people either. Like the first floor of
you're
the.
talking like
Yeah.
yeah. I'll have you roll a knowledge check for me. Because you guys have been walking through the city, so it'd be a history check, but like it is a knowledge check. Like kind of knowing the area where you moved around, like it'd be a history check, but like you're really thinking about like, okay, like where in the outskirts of this like first tier could like was it like really not that great? Because you've had some areas where you like overlooked and stuff. So I want to get a sense of maybe where it would be. So
it's you want me to roll an intelligence save?
yeah, just roll intelligence check. Yeah, just an intelligence check, just straight D20.
Well, that's not good. My intelligence is +2, which gives me a total of 5.
Yeah.
Did it?
You really don't know kind of like where this type of place would be in this first tier city. So I'm assuming that Morge would ask around a little bit, right?
Oh, completely unafraid of asking for directions.
Oh yeah. you're like walking by people, and they're and there's not a lot of folks in the street.
I'm just waving at
The
people.
ones that
Hey.
the ones that you do see, they're kind of perplexed a little bit, and one man who is just very much down in his dumps is just like, oh, just go over there. Like, it's just head south and you'll find it. You'll find it. He just starts crying and kind of points down an alleyway. It does take you some time, quite a few, like, I'd say maybe probably like.
He seems like he needs a drink too.
You offer to have him come with, and he's just like, no, just go, and it doesn't seem like it's a lost cry. It's more of like he's just really like just sad about the situation and just a very emotional person. So
Okay,
you can
thank you.
okay. You continue on, and it takes about 30 minutes, but you finally find a place, and it is an eruption in terms of like drinking. There are patrons outside that are like, pissing on the side of the building. People are puking in the middle of the street, and it was once cobblestone. Like, it's just a lot of dirt and ground. There's a lot more trees in this area. There's not as much of a like soldier presence here, and it's really kind of more of, I would say, like the slums of the city. Still nicer than a lot of the towns that you have been in, and still part of it. It's just, this is a lot where like the farmland is inside of the walls, and like where a lot of agriculture takes place, and there's a lot of food and that's really grown within this type of, like, I would say, like perimeter and section of the city. And there is a a tavern there that's pretty large in terms of the width. And at the top, you look up, and it actually says the Serpent's Den, and it's just a large snake that has had, like, mangled up sign at the top of the building that's like, you could see as daggers have been thrown at it. There's like indentations of it. So when you read it for the first time, you see that it just says the Serpent Den. And you don't see the T because it's just been hacked up so many times. And then looking a little closer, you realize it's Serpent's Den.
Perfect. Exactly what Morge was looking for.
Yeah, you meet immediately when you walk in. Everyone greets you like, "Hey!" and is like super excited. An older, a couple other of the patrons like put their arms around you and they're like, "Oh, let's have a drink!" And they're all just completely obliterated at this point. They're all rosy cheeked and smiling. One guy is just laying on the floor smiling with just two ales on both ends that are completely drank. And you just continue on throughout the night there with everyone partying.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, when would you turn in? When would Morge turn in?
Either when she ran out of money, which is...
Oh, that's not gonna happen.
Also, probably didn't bring her full purse with her. Probably only brought, like, some... like, a lot of money, but, like, not, like, her whole traveling purse,
Mm-hmm.
So, after probably, like, spending the last of her money on buying right around sunup, for everybody still in the bar, she would head back to the castle for breakfast, because...
Yeah, you're definitely getting back when breakfast is starting.
Biscuits. Sorry.
So that's what you're doing. Vash, what is Vash doing?
Well, I was going to, because I felt like I needed to at least say something to Eva, I think it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Regarding like what happened. So I'm gonna like knock on Eva's door and be like, "Can I come in?"
Eva's kind of at her desk right now, and she's writing a letter to Sadani, and she's gonna just say, He's gonna kind of close up the letter and then kind of say, "Yes, come in."
Do you have a moment to talk?
What would you like to talk about?
Well,
By the way, Eva's still facing,
Yeah.
not facing you yet,
I kind of
just to
figured.
clarify.
I feel like I need to tell someone about myself and how I connected with how you felt.
She kind of stays quiet for a moment.
If that's okay.
She kind of nods her head.
Okay. And I say that I have had a rough past myself, and seeing and experiencing people's death and stuff like that is not a fun, easy thing. So I feel sympathy. I'm gonna open up about my backstory to you a little bit. As I have a family that I can no longer see because my dad gambled away my life to a gang leader. And the gang leader is someone pretty scary, who kills people if they don't pay their debts. So I ended up running away from an incident where he brought me with him. And I ran away and became this new person, but I'm not going to tell you like my real name or anything. So I'll just say like I have an alternate identity. And I know how hard it is to like miss people even though you can't be with them.
At this point, I'm going to turn around and have kind of like my head down and get up out of my chair and then just kind of like a fall, sort of falling into Vash and also hugging her at the same time. And later I will actually text you a little bit about my backstory because I don't want to share it with everyone just yet.
Don't share it with the stream, the audience.
Oh, well, I could, but I'm gonna share up eventually when you guys ask because I know you will. But it'll be mostly about how, for right now, she'll just talk to you about how close she was with Dorn and kind of everything that's kind of led up to this point and kind of tell her what has happened up to this point so she kind of knows of the situations that we've been going through and how we all met and everything like that. The other thing that I will relay information to her is about my parents and how they were both killed in action, and I've been trying to avenge their death ever since they had fallen, since nobody knows why or how they were killed. But I'll text you more a little bit about the details on all of that.
Sure. And then I'm gonna say you probably should have someone stay in here with you for the night, though, just to make sure you're good. I can sleep on the floor. It's okay.
Well, given the fact that you don't have a room, I'd say that's okay.
As you lay down onto the floor, your head kind of thuds and hits the ground. And the servant that had helped Karst kind of begins knocking on the door frantically. And who answers?
I can answer. I'll get out of bed.
Technically not my room, so I don't
Yeah, you open the door, and he's like, I just, it was really quiet, and I heard someone's head hit the ground, and I'm assuming that they're staying in the room. So I brought I brought a pillow for this person and some blankets, and I'm really sorry. And here's some apples, and I'm so sorry. And he just runs away.
I take all the stuff, kind of, like confused, and then close the door.
As you're kind of confused, you look over down the hallway, and he actually has another sack of apples that he just places in front of Karst's door and continues on.
I kind of go like, and then like close the door.
Purely traumatized still by Karst.
Not
So
by Karst. That's where traumatizing came from. You not wearing pants was more traumatizing to this person than a dragon falling into the castle.
Well, he was also yelling at him. He was also screaming at him naked.
remember, it's his first day, and all of this crap happened. So
He'll never eat an apple
And
again.
he's still clocked in for the PM shift. That's dedication. Give that man a raise.
Can we adopt him now?
Adopt him and get him killed in 6 episodes.
right.
Oh my
Sure.
God.
I'm fine with that. I love that. At this point, all of you turn in. Morge, I'm assuming you don't get any sleep, correct?
Well, we already got the benefits of a long rest, so figured we're
No.
pretty much pumped. So yeah, I'm just gonna party all night.
Yeah. The rest of you are sleeping, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
As much
All
as
of
I
you
can.
have.
I'll give you your pillows and blankets, by the way.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
I'm not just gonna
What
take
about
them
the
for
apple?
myself.
No apples.
I'll give you the apple. I don't want it.
Okay, I'll have the apple. I'll eat the apple.
There's
because-
it's a bag of apples. There's like
It's-
6 in there.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll just place them on the ground
Oh,
next
God,
to you.
I'll
Yeah.
just take a bite of like one apple and just.
Jeez, Eva's ruthless. Like, here's your fucking apples. Throws them on the floor.
I said I placed them on the floor next to her.
Here's your
How-
apples.
Eat an apple.
That's fine. I was just picturing you even just being like, yeah, whatever, just tossing it to the floor. Just
No,
like, here's your
is
pillow.
that a heartfelt moment? I'm not gonna just immediately.
That would have been really funny. I know you wouldn't do that, but that'd be really funny. Anyway, so the 5 of you, except for Morsh, all 5 of you have the same exact dream.
Oh God.
Oh, no,
The
it's
dream
like-
is that you are standing, all of you yourselves, and you're with your group. So everyone's there: Morsh, Aura, Salithal, Karst, Eva, and Vash, all of you. And you're standing at the base of a mountain looking up into the sky as dark clouds begin to emanate around it, and as it swirls around, snow begins to fall, and at the very top of the mountain you see a silhouette of what appears to be a large dragon. The morning arrives, and all of you wake up to a lot earlier than you normally would, with a lot of shuffling, hustle, and bustle, as there is a multitude of servants running up and down the hallway, making sure everything is ready. As Aura, you awaken. You do see a couple letters for you. And
That's nice.
as you all kind of get out of your bed and kind of stretch around, was once a very warm. Yeah, which was very once like a warm area. Remember, you're farther south. It was a very warm area. It's gotten colder.
No. Winter is coming.
Well, I must be freezing. This
Hold
is
up.
great.
And as all of you are kind of taking that moment and just not really sure what's going on, a few servants are screaming down the hallway, hurry, let's go, we gotta grab all this stuff, let's go, grab everything. It seems that there's a sense of urgency as all of you kind of wake up and make your way towards the main room as King Julius is standing there before you with a letter in hand with a symbol of a white bear. And Eva, you recognize this immediately as from the city of Polarx. As King Julius looks at the rest of you, he says, "The awakening has begun."
Sounds bad.
That doesn't sound good.
Indeed.
And that's where we're ending tonight's session.
Oh.
Who wait?
Okay.
Awakening has begun. Looks at
Yes.
terror.
Alright. Now is when I call the DM a bastard. You were right, not yet.
Oh.
Am I keeping you all on the edge of your seat?
Yes.
All I love ones are
Bastard.
dying.
When are we gonna get a PC or an NPC that the party is friendly to that survives? Like more than
Never.
Or
Neither.
not evil.
They're all plot points to make our
You wanted
characters
to tell.
grieve and have a vengeance.
You just had one.
who?
Jack Kenron? King Julius is still alive. Queen Eliza.
We met them
Salazar's
at-
not dead.
when
We've
it
met-
happened.
We've met
We're talking about
Salazar's
people who
not
have
dead.
sentimental
Tyrannis is not
value.
dead.
for 3 sessions. We knew the Battlemaster for 2. And the only, I guess Dorn technically survives, 13 episodes? But we still really don't have, like very many people to really lean against.
Well,
Oh, man.
We got the king, kind
the
of.
adventure continues, and
Continues.
and Moonslivers will continue their adventure.
We're all gonna die, so stay tuned.
I mean, I
ending.
wouldn't want that to happen, but if a
I
couple
wouldn't
of you
want that to
died,
happen, but it'd be really
I
cool.
I wouldn't feel bad about it.
We're not all going to die. Sailor
I haven't killed a character yet. Have I? I don't think I've killed anyone yet.
We're all still here.
I mean, you did technically
No, like,
last campaign,
Yeah.
who did I kill?
Me.
Technically.
and I brought him back.
Technically speaking, you killed me.
Oh, that's right. Technically, I
Also,
did kill you, and then I brought
I
you back.
got,
That's
I
true.
got disintegrated and then saved by the will of the gods. So
That's true.
The will of plot.
I'm gonna say this right now. Lawson kills
will
one.
of Lawson.
I feel like Lawson kills one person.
Every
Or
campaign.
campaign. Sorry.
Yeah.
If it was a
I
session, it would be a
mean-
very shitty DM.
no, it'd just be a different
Look,
story.
Right.
I think
No,
I think you just need to give your players experiences to thrive and all have moments, but also to they need to have challenges. And I think that this
Yeah, which
this
bitch wasn't a challenge? No, she wasn't actually.
Not really. No, she went down easy.
I just laugh her,
which bitch? That was, oh man, that brings back memories. Oh man.
She trapped
Yeah,
me
there-
in the cage and I couldn't scream for help.
That was
Guys couldn't
that was a
see me.
great spell.
Yeah,
I
the
love that
Hydra
spell.
was definitely problematic.
Well, that is true. That is true. I did kill Jack's character off. I did kill his character off completely. Yeah, those were some awesome wicked monsters that we had early on.
Honestly, that
I
Hydra,
did not run well.
I was not expecting to fight a Hydra that day. Lawson threw a Hydra at us.
I don't think
Were we only like
was
level
raised.
7?
Yeah.
We were only like level 7 or something. And Lawson's like, yeah, Hydra time.
It was a fun encounter.
Had like
Fun.
30 heads by the end of it. We were all like, shit.
That was the best. Is that like you guys couldn't kill one of the heads, and just more and more kept coming back. You guys were like, "This is so annoying."
I thought how Lawson gave us like 14 side quests, and then like had a dragon attack the city, and now we have like no downtime whatsoever. It's just, oh, we gotta go here, we gotta run there, we gotta do all this.
And now we have side quests again. Only
You still
side
have-
Except
quests.
BlackRock is getting
You
like,
still have-
overrun.
You still have
Every-
side quests. There's a lot going on. You got
We all-
BlackRock that's currently in the midst of a war. You have the Green Hornets base that isn't on the second tier that might still be intact. That
Ooh.
Kars can drop off that gift to.
Hopefully.
You have there's a lot of things that you guys can do. There's going to be some things that you are going to learn. It's going to be exciting stuff.
Lawson, I saw those quotation marks around the word gift. I saw that.
It's a Bob.
It's a second
It's a-
golden dragon egg.
It's 100%
It's a bomb.
To have.
They survive a dragon attack just to get blown up by an orc with a
Oh.
box.
You're gonna. I can't wait for that to happen because I have probably. I'm just excited. I'm not going to tell you what. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's not as bad as you think it would be. But it's good. You'll like it. It won't be something you're like, oh, typical DM being an asshole. It's not that. It's like, oh, that's pretty funny.
Wait, do I know?
No, none of you know because I haven't shared it with anybody, and I'm not going to.
How dare.
Don't.
It's gonna be such an opportunity because it was like it's gonna be one of those situations like when Karst goes like, oh my god, the door ate her. Like when Eva walked through the base, the door ate her. It's gonna be like one of those situations with Karst. Like Karst has no idea how to explain what the hell just happened, or even comprehend it for that matter. It's gonna be great. Yeah. But for those of you who's tuned in, like, thanks so much, and thanks for watching. And I love it. If you kill off the characters, you won't have anyone to stream with. I have 6 options, so it's fine if I kill one. Just tell me who you want me to kill. Should I kill Luke? That's all I'm leaving as an option.
Want to kill Luke? Smash that like button.
You'll never know the full story of Eva.
kill Luke's character. Let's get that going.
Ugh.
But yeah, that's the end of tonight's session. So next week we will not be streaming, but the following week we will be. So tune in a couple weeks from now. So that will be
20.
the 26th.
Save the date.
Cool.
Hey.
Cool.
All right, save the date. We'll see you then. But this ends part 1 to the campaign as the great golden dragon Anslan has perished, and unfortunately keeping a lot of enemies at bay and keeping peace in humanity for quite some time is now, changed. So there are a lot of things that are going to happen as we enter part 2 of the campaign, as the Moon Slivers continue their adventures. So, yeah, excited to continue it on.
Was that the sign off?
Mhm.
Oh, that was.
Is that the sign off?